And recapping some of the latest free agent moves, former Jets tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins is headed to Jacksonville. We're going to skip this for a second. Adam, let's hit on some big names here. Ndamukong Suh visiting the Saints today.
Yeah, Saints today. We'll be visiting with him later in the day, meeting with Saints officials. They know how much improvement he could mean to their defense, but it's not just the Saints, Susie. He is then scheduled to go on to Tennessee to meet with the Titans officials. Can you imagine Ndamukong Suh and Jurrell Casey in the center of a defensive line? That would be a formidable combination.
All right, so let's stay with the big guys on the defensive line. Sheldon Richardson.
Yeah, was in Minnesota yesterday. The Vikings are interested in signing him. They'd like to get a deal done. Sheldon Richardson being very selective. Obviously, Seattle would still like him back. Wants to see if it can retain his services, having surrendered the second-round draft pick last year to the New York Jets. So Seattle would like to keep him. Minnesota in play. We'll see if any other teams pop up for the services of Sheldon Richardson.
And now, recapping some of the other free agent moves. Former Jets tight end Austin Seferian-Jenkins headed to Jacksonville on a 2-year, $10 million deal. Seferian-Jenkins posted a thank you to the Jets on Instagram and added, "Jacksonville, I'm ready for you." Former Falcons defensive tackle Dontari Poe heading to the Panthers. Poe agreed to a 3-year, $27 million contract, as first reported by the Washington Post. He will replace Star Lotulelei, who left to sign with the Bills. And the Jets are bringing back cornerback Mo Claiborne, who agreed to a 1-year, $7 million contract, as first reported by the NFL Network and confirmed by ESPN. Claiborne expected to join former Rams cornerback Jermaine Johnson in their secondary. Adrian Peterson is still among the running backs looking for a team. Peterson was released from the Cardinals last week. He was on First Take today to discuss a spot he'd like to end up.
It has always been my dream to come back home and play. Taking it that I've been living in Houston for over a decade, that would be a perfect landing spot here in my backyard. Would make things very convenient. Not only that, it's a great organization to be a part of. Great defense with Watson at the quarterback position. Some great young receivers. I've been watching them the past couple of years, and I've seen the pieces they have added to get to where they are now. So I feel like personally, when I look at the team, I feel like I could add to that running back room and really make a good running game dominant.
Well, that sounds good. Adam, how long do you think it might take for Peterson to land?
Well, last year it took a while for him to land before he surfaced in New Orleans. I think it was about a month. It was right before the draft that he wound up surfacing, and it's another year later, so you can't imagine that the appetite's going to be any stronger than it was at this time last year. But Houston would be a great fit. Love to see the Texans take a gamble on Adrian Peterson. I think the fan base there would like it. I think that he could bring some contributions to that Texans offense. But again, this is the waiting game that Adrian Peterson now is going to be playing.
The way he's talking, it sounds like he understands, look, if I go to a place like Houston, I'm going to have a role. I'm not going to be the guy like I was earlier in my career. And I think that would be important. If Houston could use him in a way like that to complement Lamar Miller, the rest of their offense, I think that could work. But it sounds like he's made his peace with at least being that guy that's going to have to be sort of, not what he did in Arizona last year after he signed there. He got traded there after David Johnson got hurt, but a piece of the backfield somewhere.
And I think for him, most teams now are going to wait till all their other pieces sort of fall into place. And then if Adrian Peterson is then part of the puzzle, yes, because with all of the running backs in the draft, we have our guys that we want there. If we don't get those guys, if we wait till later rounds in the draft and we get those guys, and now let's look at them in mini camps a little bit, and those guys, he gets hurt and we didn't think he was as good as he was. Maybe we need to call Adrian Peterson. It's going to be a little while, I think, for him to get signed, but definitely still a player that can help and provide depth at the running back position.
Running backs in this draft are well regarded. That was a big talker in Indianapolis. And then you look at the other older running backs that are all still out here. It's going to be a while before they all find homes. And I don't know that anymore he stands out to too many teams ahead of guys like this.
And let me just point this out. Frank Gore's already visited the Detroit Lions. DeMarco Murray has visited the Lions and the Seahawks. Adrian Peterson would like to play for the Texans. He's in Detroit today. He's in New England
right? Yeah.
Jeremy Hill is with the New England Patriots on a visit. That would be a very Patriot-like signing. They've already signed Rex Burkhead from Cincinnati. Maybe they had another former Cincinnati Bengals running back in New England.
To borrow some vernacular from the great Bill Polian, he talks about at the beginning of free agency is like shopping at Neiman Marcus, and then maybe it's Bloomingdale's. And today could be Nordstrom, which you can get some really great stuff there. And there are still some pretty good names. What stands out for you here that is still on the board that maybe could move pretty soon?
Well, I think that we have some offensive linemen. You know who we haven't put up? We need to get this on for Monday. Mike Pouncey is in play now that the Dolphins have released him. And Ryan Jensen is with the Colts today. He's visited with Tampa Bay. I think when this deal gets done, it'll be north of $10 million a year. Mike Pouncey, obviously, is in a situation where they're opening. He's got to see what happens with Ryan Jensen. John Sullivan's still out there talking to the Rams at this point in time. I think he winds up returning there.
Also just released Michael Crabtree.
Michael Crabtree is in Baltimore today. And really, this was an amazing situation because we now have Ryan Grant on this board. Ryan Grant
failed his physical.
Was off this board. He was with the Ravens, and we had to take him back up here because he did fail his physical after agreeing to a 4-year, $29 million contract. And what's amazing about that is he went to go take the physical. There was an ankle issue. His agent says he's been running, working out.
He's never missed a game.
Never missed a game. He said he could play tomorrow. But the Ravens flunked him on the physical. He's now en route to Indianapolis to go meet with the Colts. The Colts have an interest in signing Ryan Grant. And with Ryan Grant out of the picture in Baltimore and off to Indianapolis, Michael Crabtree is now in Baltimore, seeing if he can get a deal done with the Baltimore Ravens today. Crabtree could go from Oakland to Baltimore.
All right, let's touch on